What's up YouTube? For tonight's video we have a full Zygarde Forms team. Okay, this one is for Patreon. If you want your theme team done, you can check it out in the description of the video under my Patreon. Alright, this one is for Richard. Hope you enjoy this one, man. This one is for you. Okay, so with this team I was using 4 Zygarde, so I used the normal Zygarde with both abilities and the 10% form with both abilities as well, including the perfect Zygarde. Alright, so leave those team suggestions in the comment section below as usual. Guys, if you like these videos, hit that like button. Now, I actually did a full Zygarde team just with normal Zygarde a long time ago. I'm going to put that in the description at the top there so you guys can watch that afterwards. If you haven't already, it's really good to watch. You should definitely check it out. Let's get on to this one anyways. Alright, this was a battle against Secret Frog on my chat. Guys, if you want to battle me, you can check it out in the description too there. Alright, so we have my Zygarde lead here. Now, I gave them some quite interesting nicknames. We have the Don Fan here using a Z move. I love that. I actually really like that nickname as well, Fangirl. I'm versing my Fangirl. Alright, so it's going to go for the Z Defense Curl. So basically, best turn one ever for them there. So I'm just going to take them out with the Grass Knot here. This is a spec set. I've got on this Core Enforcer, which suppresses the ability, which is nice. I've got Grass Knot on this, as you just seen. I've got Focus Miss, and I've got Sludge Wave Tip Fairies. So, anyway, we have a Zebstrika. I really don't want to use Grass Knot against it, because it's probably got something like Sap Sipper. Swapping in Zygarde, which you'd probably know my 69% form, which I bet you never saw coming. Okay, now this I've actually used in the previous Zygarde form team. It was a really, really funny Pokemon that if you'll see in the video if you do check that other one out. Now we have a Me First Streak. It actually uses Bind there. This is a really interesting set. Probably my favorite Zygarde set that I've come up with. This is a Bind set. The idea is to lock them in there. So I've got Bind, I've got Toxic, I've got Sandstorm as well. So I've got 3 layers of damage there going. So it works really, really fast at getting rid of the health. I've got max health on this, and I've got split defenses. I've got Chesto Berry as well with rest. So once you get those 3 up, you've generally taken a fair bit of damage there. Or if you get even if you just get the Bind and the Toxic up, then you can go to sleep. And by the time they get you down to a low amount of health, they're already dead, which is pretty dang good. Okay, so the Zebstrika is going to go for the Overheat. That's probably the only move it can hit me with. Since it's trapped in, it can't swap obviously there. So I've really got the advantage at the moment. Okay, so going for the Toxic there. So it's got, I think Overheat maybe its only attacking move. I'm not too sure. Anyway, so I've got the Toxic up, which is good there, and I've got the Bind happening. I was actually thinking about giving this Binding Band, which what it does, that actually increases the damage or the duration of, I forget which one it is. I think it's like goes from 5 turns to 6 turns, or the damage on it. Anyways, it really can't do anything to me here, so I'm just able to get all my setups here. I've got my Sandstorm up now, which really helps out my team, and I've got my Toxic and Bind going. So it drops the Pokemon so quickly, and it was very, very effective in both battles I had, this one and the next one, and all the other battles I had afterwards there on this one. I do love the animation of Bind too. It's really, really cool. Okay, so I'm binded at the moment too, so I actually can't swap out either. It's also got Iron Deluge. So I'm guessing it's like the Lightning Rod set. I've actually run something like that. It's quite fun. Anyway, so going to sleep here, I thought that was my best option to just recover off the damage that I already previously taken. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to sleep, eating my berry, and Zygarde is full of health again, which is sweet. Okay, so the Zebstrika is going to go down, and that's basically done. Zebstrika is down, so I'm off to a pretty good start. So obviously I'm only using 4 Pokemon too, as you can see. But, you know, one of them was was reasonably powerful, but I didn't want to make them overpowered, especially with the perfect Zygarde. I know that it's Uber and stuff, but I did give it a very, very gimmicky moveset there. Which was very, very easily to get around, but you have to stick around to see what that is. Alright, so we have the Lilligant set. This is a physical set there. It's got Sword Dance there, which is nice. Now, I couldn't really do much other than just poison it and bind it. I didn't really want to swap out at all, so I thought this would be the best option, just to Toxic and bind it. Okay, so I've got the Toxic up there, which is nice. It's got 1 Sword Dance up. Since it doesn't have the greatest attack stat in the world, I was thinking maybe, since I did do Toxic and bind, you know, they already know what my set is, they definitely can go for another Sword Dance there. That didn't surprise me when they went for that one. Also, I'm very bulky, max health, and my split defenses makes me very tanky there. So I knew that I'd be able to take at least one, maybe 1 or 2 attacks of that, maybe even 3, depending on you know, what attack stat this was, or it was just a real bulky set. I wasn't actually sure. Anyways, so I've got the Toxic Bind up. It's doing very nice damage already, and I've got the Sandstorm going. So I've got the triple damage happening there, which is cool. Alright, so going for the bind now. There's no point healing off there. I just want to get some extra damage on Lilligant there. Now it's going to go for the Petal Blizzard here. It does a pretty nice whack of damage to me. There, the Sandstorm does stop, and it's also got the leftover. So I'm thinking it could be something like... I'm not sure. It could be something like max health, max attack with leftovers. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that's what it could be. Or it could be like a bulky set with nothing in attack. But I think it does have attack. Anyways, so not much to do here. I just thought, let's go for bind again. I really want to get rid of this thing because it's got, you know, it's got 2 Sword Dances up. And it'd be a pain if it had some sort of recovery there. So it's going to go for another Petal Blizzard. And that's going to take out my second Zygarde there. So that's down. However, I still had 3 Zygardes remaining. So it's all good. Now, I knew that's going to have probably live on a little bit of health there. It needed another turn to actually go down to the Toxic, unfortunately. But that's all good. So, bring in my 10% form here. This was the Aura Break set. So, I had 2 Aura Break and 2 Power Construct sets there. So, technically, I had 2 Perfect Zygardes. But a lot of the time, I actually didn't even get to use... Some of the time, I didn't even get to use 1. It never activated, or... I had only 1 actually working there. So going for the Core Enforcer. This is a mixed Zygarde 10% form set. So we have Twitter coming in. Guys, follow me on Twitter. Pimpnite. No, I'm just joking. Seriously, but this was a... I think this was a spec set. Max speed, max special attack. It was actually hidden. I'd say that it was hidden power ice. And it's going to take me out in one shot there. So I had... we'll go through my moveset in the second battle. It gets to a little bit more explained there. So you want to stick around for that one. So bringing back in my 50% form. This is another. This is the other Power Construct set. It's going to go for the Hidden Power Ice again. There, does a lot of damage to me. I'm going to go for the Core Enforcer here. Since I'm running specs, I know this is going to hit pretty hard. Obviously Zygardes, even the Perfect Form stats on the real, on the Perfect Complete Form Zygarde, they're not really super duper good. It's more really class for it, just a big health tank and support Pokemon. That's, you know, this is what it really is. It's not really a one, you know, I was quite disappointed with its attack stat, to say the least there. But its health is absolutely amazing. It's mainly just a big tanky support bulky set there. You could definitely run it, if you wanted something a little bit more standard, you could run it with like Dragon Tail or Traps or something there. Just a phasing set with Rest or something like that. It's so bulky. Alright, so going for the Core Enforcer here again there. I really do love that animation on the move. Now, the Flareon is clearly a bulky special defense set. It's going to go for the 5-spin there, trapping me in. So I'm also locked into Core Enforcer 2, and I'm trapped in by the 5-spin. So it's like, okay, this thing's probably going to have Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, or it's going to have Wish or Protect or something like that. I'm guessing that's what it's going to be. Like that, those moves run so well with 5-spin, just trapping moves. Alright, so going for the next Core Enforcer, just misses the kill there. It's going to eat a berry and BK there, and getting lots of its health back there with the Egg Wave Berry. Now it's going to use Wish, which is going to get lots of its health back. I wasn't sure, like seeing that, I'm thinking maybe it doesn't have Protect, I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't. I would have probably had leftovers myself, but yeah, the berry could definitely come in handy there too. If you were facing a more, I'd say if you were facing a more physical set there. Sometimes I have a kind of a similar set. I actually had Lava Plume on there. That works too. All right, so anyway, it's going to go for the Fire Fang there. Just a little bit of you know, stab there, trying to go for the burn. Actually crits me, which is funny. Mega Zygarde. Perfect Zygarde gets absolute bulk, huge bulk in defense and health there. So it's very tanky there. So here, going for the Core Enforcer again. Since I'm locked in, I can't swap. I'm choice specs. I can't do anything else. And that's going to also suppress the ability, which is pretty cool. All right, so going for another, I'm just going to say another Z. Another Z there, which is quite ironic because this is a, I do have a Rest Sleep Talk set there on my other one. Alright, so I'm down to my last Zygarde, which is the other complete form. I actually troll with the nicknames there too. I gave one 69% form and I gave the other 50% form, but it was actually sneakily Power Construct Zygarde. So I did that to sort of throw people off. So in case I'm versing me, like, oh, okay, I know what this one is. That sort of thing. Anyway, so Fire Funk does a decent chunk to me there. Going for the extreme speed here on the Flareon and taking it out. Now, this was... I'm trying to remember. This was my other perfect Zygarde. Now, this was a really, really cool set. This was very, very salty too. I was pretty salty here. Okay, so going for the extreme speed here, just to see how much damage this would do against the Kingdra. Doesn't do a hell of a lot. Obviously, it's not really like stab or anything there. All right, so I'm going to get confused by the Water Pulse. I never saw that one coming. Now, I'm going to sense the presence of many sprinkles of soul on me, and I'm going to change into the perfect Zygarde there. I do love the animation change there. It is really cool. Okay, so we have the second perfect form Zygarde, a complete form Zygarde. Now, on this set, I've got a pretty interesting set. I've got extreme speed, I've got rest, I've got sleep talk, and I've also got camouflage there. So, what camouflage, and also got para hacks there, yay. And I'm also confused, like, what the fuck? Anyway, so I get paralyzed by Dragon Breath, like, that was, you know, tick that one off my bucket list. And I've got confused, I'm confused as well. So I've got Parafusion, and the fucking thing's got Twister, so that's like a, I think that's a flinch chance. Yeah, that's a flinch chance too, so it's like the full, most scummiest Kingdra set you could ever come across in your life. So go for the camouflage. Now, also, fun fact for anyone that didn't know, once Perfect Zygarde, you know, changed it into a perfect form, you actually need to use camouflage again to change it back into the normal type, which is interesting. I don't know if, how many people would have known that one, but just a little fun fact for today. All right, so here, I was in a desperate amount of trouble here, trying to go for extreme speed, getting hacks like you wouldn't believe. So going for the extreme speed, I actually get a critical hit there, which was nice. The Kingdra is going to go for the Water Pulse yet again. Since I'm so bulky, I actually tanked that one on 7 health. Here I'm going to go for the extreme speed. I actually snap out of confusion. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the rest off because I knew that I could outsped, and it's just going to live on the tiniest bit of health. And I'm going to die to the Water Pulse, so I'm not even salty at all. Hope you guys enjoyed this first battle. Had some pretty fun Zygarde sets there, rather than just the usual standard ones or really easy ones to use. Let's get on to this second battle anyway. Okay, this one was... I'm trying to remember on chat who this was. I think this was against Minor Threat on my chat. I think so. Anyway, so we have a 50% form to start the battle off. We have a Jolteon, Shiny Jolteon. That is going to go for the substitute, which is probably the running gag of this battle. Now, going for the Core Enforcer here, just going for my main stab. This never gets old either, just flying in the air. Imagine I need to do like a metronome Pokemon and get it choose that move. That'd be really funny. Anyway, so I'm going to break that sub. Wasn't sure what I was trying to do there. Obviously, it might be subbing down to a berry. I wasn't really sure, or something. Maybe to try and pass a sub along. Those are my two things. Thoughts at the start anyway. Alright, so it's going to go for yet another substitute. I'm just attacking it because I don't want it to get that substitute up. It's obviously something's up with it. It's obviously trying to get that up. There's some sort of strategy there going on. Okay, so breaking the sub there again. This can go on for a little while, but with leftovers, but I think it can get about 3 more substitutes off, and then you can't use it anymore. Now, I know that Jolteon wouldn't have much to hit me outside HP Ice, which clearly it probably didn't have. Now it's going to go for the Baton Pass, so clearly it was trying to pass a substitute to something. So Lord Helix comes out here. I went for the Core Enforcer again. Since I'm Specs, I was like, this is going to hit really, really hard there if this is a sweeping set. I was actually expecting the KO, and of course it just lives again. God damn it. It lives, and Amaster's going to take me out there with the Ice Beam. Definitely, there's no way in this world I could have swapped into anything else, because my whole team is 4 times weak to Ice. And yeah, so not a bad start there. I guess I weakened Amaster and seen what Jolteon's set was all about. Okay, so the 10% form here is going to use the Extreme Speed to take that one out. Didn't want to deal with any more Ice Beams there. Now, we have Nudes coming out. I don't mind that name. So, this was quite a long bit. I'm actually going to speed this up one like 3 times, swapping in my 69% form in. So, Tangrowth is normally a very bulky, stally Pokemon. That's why I had to... actually, this team in general was very, very bulky. Okay, so as you've seen in the previous battle, I had the Toxic and Bind set with Sandstorm and Rest as my recovery. So, this Tangrowth, or Green Spaghetti, is going to be using Toxic against me as well. I really wanted to take this thing out, and I was hoping that, I wanted to get that bind happening too, so it couldn't swap out and get the regenerator boost back and just be a general pain in the ass. Alright, so going to sleep here, just healing off that Toxic, that was the main thing. It has Giga Drain there, but it isn't really doing enough there to starve off that Toxic damage and the bind there. Okay, so here I just went for sleep there, since I'm pretty sure I just already used my Chesto Berry there already. It wasn't doing a hell of a lot of damage either. It couldn't swap out the setup on me, so the situation was rather good for me there. Okay, so I'm going to wake up, use the Sandstorm there, which is cool. Tangrowth is going to go for a final Toxic there on me, basically forcing me to sleep in the battle later on. Okay, so down to about half health there. The Tangrowth is going to finally go down there. That was a very, very long matchup there. Finally getting rid of Tangrowth was good. So basically, this was probably the tanky Pokemon on my team, like my support Pokemon. The rest were more like, sweepers. All right, so we have the Jolteon coming in here again. I was like, I wonder if this is going to try setting up Substitute. So going back into my 10% form Zygarde there with Aura Break. Now, it's going to go for the sub again. It's really desperately trying to get that sub up. I was like, no, not happening. Not even happening. I wasn't sure what Pokemon was going to pass it to, but with the sub up, it was going to be really annoying, and it means I can't... it means I couldn't use any status on it, and it would, it would be able to set stuff up behind the substitute. All right, so going for the extreme speed there, making sure that Jolteon definitely couldn't Baton Pass it off. So it's going to go for another dry Baton Pass. All this Jolteon's done this whole battle was just like Baton Pass nothing. Okay, so we have Palossand coming in, another really bulky Pokemon. Also the Sand's up too, which is really going to suit that. If it has, I was a little bit worried too that it has Shore Up, so it's going to be able to heal like a lot of damage back. So, swapping in 69% form here with my Aura Break. Now it's going to go for the Amnesia. I'm going to speed this part up as well. It is a little bit long. So, we have the Toxic on this one here. I really needed to get that Toxic up. I was very thankful that stayed in for that one. Now it's going to go for the Shadow Ball there, doing a fair amount of damage. The Sandstorm does subside. But the main thing I wanted to do was get the Toxic up. I couldn't use Bind, obviously. Even the blocks there, like, there's no way I could trap this thing in. Outside, what is it, 1,000 arrows, the other one, 1,000 waves. Anyways, so it's got the poison up there. It's going to swap out there. So I poisoned it. That's the main thing there. That's it's basically crippled there if it doesn't have any, I wasn't sure if it had rest, but I was basically banking that it had Shore Up instead of rest. All right, so Jolteon's going to come in here. It's desperately going to try and get this substitute up again. So here I'm like, I'm going to swap out Zygarde. It clearly can't hit anything. It doesn't have, it hasn't shown Hidden Power Ice yet. Obviously, there. So I'm going to swap in my 10% form there again. Okay, so Jolteon is going to go for yet another substitute. I can go for the extreme speed here, break that, and it's going to be able to pass nothing. So it has sub. Well, what we've seen sub and Baton Pass. That's all we've, that's all we've seen. I'm guessing it's got Volt Switch on this too, or Thunderbolt, something like that. Anyway, so we have the Jolteon swapping out. We have the Shiny Turtonator coming in here, which is cool. Going for the extreme speed. I knew that it wasn't going to do like too much against that, which is cool here. All right, so now I'm going to go for the 1,000 Arrow. 1,000 Arrows is a really cool attack. Flying Pokemon aren't immune to it either, so it's a really nice attack to run on it. The other one actually is a trapping one, the opposite one there. All right, so I'm going to get Will-O-Wisp here, which is bad, but however, I didn't actually show that I was a mixed set here, so I still had Core Enforcer on this set. So they were probably thinking that I was crippled, but I had a little Core Enforcer up my sleeve to be able to hit this Palossand with. And now, I knew this was a Amnesia set, which was shown off before, which is kind of telling me that it could be max health, max defense. That was my thought process at this point in the game. I wasn't 100%, but it would make sense. So here I'm going to go for the Core Enforcer there anyway. That was my, I thought that would be the best play I could possibly do. All right, so going for that one there. It doesn't, the EVs on this I had max health. No, sorry, I had max attack and max special attack. That was my, it was actually a fully offensive set. I didn't run anything in speed there. All right, so now it's going to go for the Shadow Ball there, which does a crap load of damage. I actually get a special defense drop there. Not that it matters. I'm going to die next turn anyway. So something's going to have to swap into Core Enforcer there. We've got the Jolteon on low health. We've got the Turtonator that's not going to swap into that either. And the last unknown Pokemon there, or the Pokemon that hasn't come out there. So I knew this thing would stay in, and it's going to definitely take it out there. So that was nice there. Having the mix set on that really, really helped me out there, because I really would have been, pressed for doing any cyber damage to that thing with the burn. Okay, so we have Jolteon coming in here. I was like, Is it actually going to attack me this time? I'm not sure. Is it got a weak attack like a hidden power or a shadow ball? Anyway, so going for the extreme speed here. Since I've got a burn there, it's going to go for the wish here. So I'm like, okay, it's got wish. I was like, oh, it's probably going to have like protect or something. So it could be like a pure, I wasn't sure. It's like a pure like substitute baton passer. Or it didn't have like any electric moves at all. I wasn't sure. Obviously, because of my typing, I wasn't going to use that. Anyway, so going for the extreme speed here, it didn't have protect or anything. So the Jolteon is down. It couldn't get its substitute up the whole battle, which is good because that would have been really annoying there. All right. So I've still got lots of my team going here. I'm just really going well. So we have the Turtonator coming back in here. It's only on a little bit of health here, but I know that I can outspeed it and go for the Core Enforcer. Extreme Speed definitely wouldn't kill there. And this is going to be super effective against it, which is going to take it out. Also, I'm going to go down to the burn. But man, that 10% Zygarde mix set did really well there. That was that was definitely the best performance I had out of any of the battles that I did with it. Okay, so we've got 69% form still left, and we've got complete form left, which is, things are going fairly good at the moment. So there's only one more Pokemon left, which is the Snorlax, but it does have a big but. But anyway, this is where things started to go, things started to get pretty scary. So we've got the Curselax here. I'm like, oh god, it's probably going to have something like Rest and Sleep Talk and Curse, or even just Rest and Curse, Body Slam, something like that. So I was like, this is really bad because I can't use 69% form if it's going to be able to go to sleep. It's not going to be as good here. So I had to get like crits or something. So the Snorlax there is just going to continue to use Curse here. Since both the Pokemon I've got left remaining are physical sets, I was really dead in the water here. I couldn't really do too much to it. So going for another extreme speed here. Snorlax is going to go for a crunch here, which is interesting there. It does 3/4 of myself. I get the, I sense the presence of many. Which is good, which is going to change me into my perfect complete form Zygarde. The good thing about that is, as well, if you haven't seen this used in battle, you do get a hell of a lot of health back there. As you can see, you get a nice little buff of health using there afterwards. Okay, so going for the camouflage, just changing myself into a normal type. Snorlax doesn't seem to have Body Slam, which is interesting. I was thinking, this is like a Curselax set, right? But it's only got Crunch. So they're relying to get +6 on Crunch, right? And then they're relying on that defense drop to even hit for greater damage, which is pretty cool, actually. I don't mind that. All right, so the Snorlax is going to go up for another Curse there. This thing is so bulky. I'm guessing it's just max health, max special defense. That's normally what it is. So its defenses are huge at the moment. Here I go for the rest because I was thinking here, my only way to take out this Snorlax was Toxic, right? But at this point in the game, I wasn't really sure if it had Rest or not, or is it just like a fully offensive set? Anyway, so Crunch isn't doing too much since Complete Form gets a massive boost in defense there, plus I'm running max health on it. So I thought, let's test the waters with 69% form. I'm still asleep, but that's fine. Now, the Snorlax is going to continue going for another curse. I'm going to speed this bit up here because it was rather long. Alright, so I actually was sleeping here for another 2 turns. It actually recycles its berries, so that tells me straight away that no, it's not going to be a rest set. It's going to be a recycle gluttony set there, which is, you see that in VGC quite a lot. So going for the Toxic and Bind there, so I was hoping it didn't have rest. I didn't think it would now after seeing that. So I've got the Toxic and Bind up, which is working really nicely. Here I'm going to go for the rest because I really want that Toxic to start, pumping and getting some more damage up there. Because I was at the point where I'm going to start to get one-shotted by this thing. Alright, so it's going to eat its second berry there. It actually starts to not have time to use Recycle. I mean, if it's going to use Recycle, it's going to burn up another turn. Toxic is really starting to do some damage as well, which is nice there. Alright, so I'm just going to basically be fodder there. 69% form did absolutely wonderful there. Getting the Toxic and the Bind up. So, this is the last turn. Swapping back in complete form. All I need to do is tank this last hit, and it's going to go down to the Toxic. I'm just asleep here. I can't do anything. Just snoozing on the job there in my complete form. Going for the Sleep Talk here. I was hoping I'd get extreme speed. But I get Camouflage instead, which is going to camouflage me into the normal type. Now, if you use Camouflage in a Wi-Fi battle, it changes you into a normal type. It also varies on what location you are. Okay, so Snorlax does absolutely nothing, even at +6. The Toxic is going to take it down, and that is game. Man, I hope you guys enjoy these ones. Enjoy the bloopers and bonus battle.
Bye.